So good day, ma'am. I am Arnel Peligrino and I am here to discuss the Chapter 8, Laws Regulating Accommodations Establishments. So this chapter will deal with the different laws regulating different accommodation establishment, basic provisions of the National Building Code of the Philippines and its supporting laws, including rules on security and restrictions of guests and occupants have also been incorporated in this chapter. So the learning objectives in these chapters are: identify the laws affecting the accommodation sectors. Second is the identify the rights of hotel guests, and last, explain how quality and safety standards are maintained by hotels and similar establishments by meeting minimum requirements of the law. So the first one is the nature and descriptions of the business. So business entities engaged in the operation of tourist accommodation establishment may be organized as a single proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation. So a hotel, a building in device or premises, or a completely independent part thereof which is used for the regular reception, accommodation, or lodging of travelers and tourists, and the provisions of service incidental thereto for a fee. So a resort, any place or places with pleasant environment and atmosphere conducive to comfort, healthful relaxations and rest, offering food, sleeping accommodations, and recreational facilities to the public for a fee or remuneration. Tourist inn, a lodging establishment catering to transient which does not meet the minimum requirements of an economy hotel. So a partel, any building or edifice containing several independent, unfurnished or semi-furnished apartments regularly leased to tourists and travelers for dwelling on a more or less long-term basis and offering basic services to its tenants, similar to hotels. This type of accommodations is sometimes called service apartments. Pension house, a private or family operated tourist boarding house, tourist guest house, or tourist lodging house employing non-professional domestic helpers regularly catering to tourists and travelers, containing several independent lettable rooms providing common facilities such as toilets, bathrooms, showers, living and dining room, or kitchens, and where a combinations of board and lodging may be provided. And lastly is the motorist hotel or motel, any structure with several separate units primarily located along the highway with individual or common parking space at which motorists may obtain lodging and in some instances meals. So what is a hotel? Classified into the following categories, namely is the deluxe or previously known as 5-star hotel, first class or the 4-star category, then standard class or the 3-star category, and the economy class or known as the 2-star category. So resort may be categorized in beach resort located along the seashore, inland resort located with a town, property, or city, island resort located in natural or man-made island within the internal waters of Philippine archipelago, lakeside or riverside resorts located along or near in the bank of a lake or river, and mountain resort located at or near a mountain of hill, and theme parks. So resort can be classified as class AAA, class AA, and a class A. And lastly is the special interest resort. So rules on operations and management of resort. Sanitation measures shall be adopted in accordance with the standard prescribed under Code on Sanitations of the Philippines. All resorts shall provide the services of sufficient number of well-trained lifeguard duly accredited by either the Philippine National Red Cross, the Water Life Saving Associations of the Philippines, or recognized organizations training or promoting safety objectives, and adequate security whenever there are guests. So, all resorts shall provide the service of a physician either on call or on full-time basis, depending on their volume of operations and accessibility to hospital or medical centers. In addition, resorts shall employ adequate first aiders who have completed a course in first aid duly certified by the National Red Cross or any organization accredited by the same. Adequate first aid medicines and necessary life-saving equipment shall be provided within the premises. There shall be placed on a beach or lakeside resort an adequate number of which shall be spread within the area to be determined by the resort owner or keeper as safe for swimming purposes and in compliance with existing government regulations and or local ordinance on the placing of such buoys. So precautionary measures. So in no case shall the resort management allow swimming at the beach front beyond 10 p.m. An appropriate notice shall be posted to inform the resort guest of this regulation. So night swimming at the pool shall be allowed only if there are adequate lifeguards on duty and when the pool premises are sufficiently lighted. So management shall post sufficient and visible signs in strategic areas in the resort or at the beach to warn guests or customers of the presence of artificial or natural hazard, danger, or occurrence. Prohibited acts and practice. No pets or animals shall be allowed to bathe or swim along beaches. Likewise, pukot fishing and washing of fish net shall be strictly prohibited in the beach resort. Resort owners shall prohibit ambulant vendors from pending their wares within the resort premises in order to provide their guests a certain degree of privacy to enable them to relax and enjoy their stay. Littering in resort shall be strictly prohibited. Resort owners shall keep their premises. So motorist hotel or a motel. Aside from complying with the minimum requirements of the establishment, operations and maintenance of a motel, all motels are required to keep a motel registry book straight the following particular. First is the full name, address, then number, date, and place of issue residence certificate, Class A or driver's license or passport. In addition, the motel management is required to maintain a separate logbook of the plate number of the vehicles or cars used for customers or guests coming into or leaving the motels. On the department of guests, the motel clerk shall record in the registry book the date and hour of their departure. No motel shall accept for lodging or accommodation any person below 18 years of age unless accompanied by a parent or guardian. Accreditation of accommodation establishment by the Department of Tourism. So accreditation by the Department of Tourism, although not mandatory in nature, increase the marketability of an accommodation establishment. Any person, partnership, corporation, or other entity desiring to secure an accreditation from the Department of Tourism shall accomplish in duplicate and file with the department the applications prescribed for such purpose. So the validity of certificate of accommodations. The certificate of accommodation or accreditation shall be valid for a period of 1 year from the date of issue unless sooner revoked by the department. Grounds of cancellations of accreditation. Any of the following acts, omission, or offenses shall be constitute sufficient grounds for the cancellations of accreditation. First is making any false declarations or statement or making use of any such declaration or statement or any document containing the same or committing fraud or any act of misrepresentations for the purpose of obtaining the issuance of accreditations. Failure to comply with or contravene any of the conditions set for in the certificate of accreditation. Failure to meet the standards and requirements for the operations and establishment, allowing or permitting the establishment of its facility to be used for illegal, immoral, or illicit activities, violations of or non-compliance with any of the provisions of the rules, promulgated orders, decisions, and circulars issued by the department and other concerned agencies. So the responsibility of accommodation establishment. Accommodation establishment must exercise due diligence, not only in the selection of its employee, but also in serving the needs of its customers. Failure to do so warrant the conclusions that the management had been remiss in complying with the obligation imposed upon hotel keepers under the law. So, National Building Code of the Philippines. The National Building Code of the Philippines was adopted in view of the country's accelerating economy and physical development, complied with urbanizations and population's growth. The National Building Code of the Philippines contains up-to-date and modern technical knowledge on building designs, constructions, use, occupancy, and maintenance. So, Section 104, General Building Requirements. All building or structure as well as accessory facilities thereto shall conform in all aspects to the principle of safe construction and must be suited to the purpose for which they are designed. Buildings or structures intended to be used for manufactures and or productions of any kind of article or product shall observe environmental safeguards. Buildings or structures and all parts thereof, as well as all facilities found therein, shall be maintained in safe, sanitary, and good working condition. Section 105. Site requirements. The land or site upon which will be constructed any building or structures or any ancillary or auxiliary facility thereto shall be sanitary, hygienic, or safe. In the case of sites or building intended for use, human habitations or abode, the same shall be at a safe distance, as determined by competent authorities, from stream or bodies of water and or sources of air considered to be polluted, from a volcano or volcanic site, any other building considered to be potential source of fire or explosions. So, general requirements of all buildings by use or occupancy. Section 704, or location on property. General. No building shall be constructed unless it adjoins or has direct access to a public space, yard, or street on at least one of its sides. Fire resistance of walls. Exterior walls shall have fire resistance and opening protection. Accommodation establishment belong to the Group B occupancies under the National Building Code. Accordingly, it shall consist of multiple dwelling units, including boarding or lodging house, hotels, apartment buildings, and other similar buildings which accommodate more than 10 people. The foregoing provisions gives the general requirements for the location of the property to be established. So, registrations of guests and occupants. The Civil Code of the Philippines gives provisions for necessary deposit made by the travelers in hotels or inns. This implies the need for the registrations of guests and or shall be responsible for the deposit given by the travelers or guests, provided notice was given with respect to the effects brought by this guest, and that the keepers of hotels and inns have taken the necessary precautions prescribed regarding their safekeeping. So, the liability of hotel keepers extend not only to the effect lost or damage in the hotel rooms, but also those lost or damages in hotel annexes, such as garage. In this kind of deposit, the hotel keepers cannot escape liability by posting notice to the effects that he is not liable for the articles brought by the guest. Any stipulations limiting the liability of the hotel keeper shall be void. The liability of the hotel keeper shall extend to the following cases. 1. In case the loss or injury is caused by his servants or employees as well as by strangers. In case the loss or injury caused by the act of a thief or robber without the use of arms and irresistible force. However, the hotel keeper shall not be liable in the following case. The loss or injury is caused by force, major like flood, fire, robbery by force or intimidations. The loss is due to the act of the guest or his family, servants, or visitors. So, National Homestay Program. The National Homestay Program is a program of the Department of Tourism which provides travelers with comfortable accommodations with Filipino families in areas near tourist attractions for purpose of accreditation by the Department of Tourism. The following are the minimum requirements for the operations and maintenance of homestay sites. Homestay sites. There is a prevailing peace and order situations in the area. There are existing natural and man-made attractions in the community. Site is easily accessible to tourists and with existing transportation services, good road conditions, and other basic community infrastructure. So the host community is willing to join the National Homestay Program, and there is a dearth of commercial accommodation facility in the area to service tourists. Home facility structures are of durable building materials and are in good presentable conditions. The surroundings are pleasant and healthful. There shall be at least one adequate furnished guest room to accommodate paying visitors, and the following shall be available: extra bed, adequate lighting system, running water, or if not available, adequate supply of water, clean and well-maintained toilet and bathroom facilities, meals and reasonable rates, electric fan or other means of ventilations. Training. Family members shall have complete the department training workshop on homestay program. Safety and security. DOT Memorandum Circular Number 2006 to 2009 Series of 2006 constitutes the adoptions of safety and security measures in hotels, resorts, and other similar accommodations establishments. This is in line with the Department of Trust of ensuring the safe, conventional, and enjoyable stay and travel of both local and foreign tourists as man-made by Executive Order 120. Accordingly, failure to comply with such memorandum circular shall be ground for the review of the accreditations of the accommodation establishment concerned. The following constitute guidelines on safety and security measures. So, guest, visitor, and joiner shall be registered. The guest booking or information sheet shall be properly accomplished and verified through valid official documents like passport, company ID, driver's license, social security system, and the like. Efficient recording of informations on vehicles, make, model, color, plate number, and name for taxi cabs, ferrying tourists or guests to and from the hotel shall be provided. Efficient ID system for all personnel shall be established. Proper selections of manpower and security personnel shall be conducted. Crisis management team whose members have continuous training on hotel security and emergency response, both on man-made and natural disaster, shall be organized. The response shall also include evacuation and first aid. Security spotters shall be provided to monitor the movement and other activities of guests or visitors, hotel staff, and loiterers. Perimeter roving guards shall also be detailed and establish a record scheme to monitor his task. All public areas of the establishment shall provide with an electronic surveillance system fully equipped with modern and highly resolution imaging CCTV gadgets made by a security officer. Electronic access control device shall be provided in the elevator for high-rise hotels and other similar accommodation establishments. Hotel management and or security officer shall undergo annual training program on security and emergency procedure in the coordinations with the associations of hotel security officers of the Philippines or any concerned government's agency. And last, the linkage with local PNP commands, hospitals, and other concerned agencies shall be institutionalized to respond to emergency situations. And that's all. Thank you.